Have you ever felt like every single morning is a battle against your own alarm clock? Like you're just not built for this early start world? Well, you're not alone, and it's not your fault. When you really look at how our society is structured, you start to see this massive design flaw. We're living in what you could call a morning dictatorship. Just let that sink in for a second. A squatter in their own home. It's such a powerful way to put it, right? It perfectly captures that feeling of being forced to operate on a schedule that feels completely alien to your own body, to your own biological wiring.
So this really brings us to the core question here. Is the whole 9 to 5 system, the structure of our work days, our school days, pretty much everything, is it based on a totally flawed idea? Let's dig in and find out.
Okay, to really get this, let's kind of put on our architect hats for a minute and scan the blueprints of our society. What you find almost immediately is a system with this deep bias built right into its foundation. I mean, think about it. We hear it our whole lives, right? The early bird gets the worm. This is so much more than just a saying. It's a value judgment. Society basically hands out gold stars to morning people, seeing them as disciplined and successful. Meanwhile, if you're an evening person, you start every single day feeling like you're already behind, often with this little cloud of guilt hanging over you. And let's be super clear, this has nothing to do with willpower. For a night owl, the brain's interface in the morning is literally still booting up. It's full of static. Information just feels unfiltered and overwhelming. It's like trying to run some really complex software on a computer that's still stuck in sleep mode. It's just not going to work well. Which brings us right to the heart of the matter. This isn't a personality quirk or a choice. It's about your fundamental biological wiring. We're talking about something called chronotypes. And what's so fascinating is that this isn't some new age idea. This diversity in our sleep patterns is actually an ancient survival tool. Seriously, think back to our tribal ancestors. It was absolutely essential to have people on different schedules. The night owls would guard the camp while everyone else slept, and then the early birds would take over at dawn. We literally needed both to survive as a species. So let's break this down into a couple of simple categories: lions and wolves. As you can see here, the lions are our morning people. Their peak performance hits early in the day, so they're naturally in sync with the 9 to 5 world, and society absolutely rewards them for it. But then you have the wolves. Their peak is late in the evening. They're forced to live on a lion schedule, and what do they get for it? Unfair labels like lazy or unproductive. It's a total mismatch.
So what actually happens when you force a wolf to live a lion's life day after day? Well, the consequences are pretty serious. It leads to a condition with a very fitting name: social jet lag.
Yep, it's called social jet lag. And no, we're not talking about the feeling you get after a flight. This is a chronic, daily thing. It's this constant war between your body's internal clock and society's external clock. It's like a low-grade stress that just grinds you down over and over again. And the cost of this is huge. This constant battle puts your body in a state of permanent stress. We're talking about higher cortisol levels, which can lead to a greater risk of inflammation, heart disease, even depression, and metabolic issues. Your thinking gets fuzzy, your decision-making gets worse, and you're just more irritable. It's basically a sustained attack on your health. The best way to think about it is this: your body is just leaking energy all day long. It's trying its best to function through an operating system that doesn't match its hardware. And that constant effort just drains your resources and chips away at your well-being.
And this doesn't just affect you at work. It creates what you might call a dance of dissonance in our relationships too. The lion in your life wants to connect over coffee in the morning, right? But the wolf is basically a zombie. Then, later that night, just as the wolf is hitting their creative and social peak, ready for a real conversation, the lion is already fast asleep. It's a cycle of constantly missing each other's best moments. And this right here is probably the most important thing to get. It is not a character flaw. It is not a choice. It's a fundamental difference in your biological wiring. We're talking hardware, not software. And just recognizing that, that's the first step towards swapping out judgment for some real understanding. Okay, so the system is flawed. We get it. The big question is, how do you survive in it? How can you actually thrive? This is where we stop diagnosing the problem and start talking about an architectural redesign for your own life. And here it is, the single most important piece of advice that changes everything. Stop trying to become a morning person.
Seriously, forcing yourself to change your fundamental chronotype is like trying to replace a building's foundation while you're still living inside. It's just destined to crack. The most powerful, most liberating first step you can take is to simply accept your own blueprint. So, how do you work with your biology instead of fighting it? Here's a super practical wolf protocol. Step 1, light. Get a very bright light in your face the second you wake up. It's a hack to force your brain's interface to turn on. Step 2, cold. A quick cold shower is like an instant reset for your nervous system. Step 3, front loading. Do all your simple, mechanical, no-brainer tasks in the morning. Save the deep, creative, important work for the evening when you're at your natural peak. And finally, step 4, an anchor. Find a specific scent or song that you only use when you absolutely must focus in the morning. It helps condition your brain to perform on command.
And you know, this goes way beyond just personal survival hacks. If you're a leader, you can redesign your entire workplace around this. The key? Shift from rewarding presence, who's at their desk at 9 a.m., to rewarding results. Let your lions drive the morning strategy meetings, and then empower your wolves to handle the creative problem-solving late at night when they're at their best. You'll be leveraging everyone's natural superpowers.
Ultimately, it really all comes down to this. The reason our society is so burned out isn't a huge mystery. We are trying to build skyscrapers with materials that cannot withstand the cold of the early morning. We're forcing people into conditions they were never designed for. And then we act all surprised when everything starts to crack. So I'll just leave you with this one last question to think about. When you look at your own life, your work, your relationships, your health, are you building on solid ground? Or are you too trying to construct your life at a time of day that your own biology simply wasn't built for?